I've also been for counselling today, because the last straw for me was I didn't get an invite to this evening's meeting. Even though I annoyed my neighbour Paul, we had to have, Milan got his and he told us that, I don't know why, perhaps it's because I'm in there, nobody cares. But because I've had suicidal thoughts, I've had to go to counselling today. And I've been told by the counsellor that I should stand up and tell you all. And the people I hold for my suicidal thoughts are sitting down there. Now, I hope you don't sleep tonight, because I know I won't.
Whilst there's delays, the delays aren't too bad. Peak times, the delays are bad. I'm being very honest with you here. I know you experience it every day, and I'm not experiencing it every day. But
on weekends.
okay. I know there's significant delays, and coming into the site tonight, there was a significant queue, and I've got concerns that that queue is not being managed by the traffic management contractor correctly, because they should, if they have a long queue in one direction, they should allow for a longer green time. The lights are supposed to be manually controlled, so if they see a long queue, they can allow for a longer green time to clear that queue. I know. Wait. I know it's not happening.
Sworn at.
It's not happening, and I'm going to go back and have a
We've
serious
put with that for
conversation.
70 weeks now. You do it once a week probably.
I am going to go have a conversation with Montel's about traffic management to see if there's anything we can do to improve
My wife
the manual control of those
was
lights.
hit by a hit and run. Now the car was inspected, no one was hurt. It was dark at night because come flying through the red lights. Now that has a real knock-on effect, not only financial, but there's a stress of Carol being in a car accident, reported to police, nothing done at all.
Is there actually CCTV there? Because you
put the signs, I don't think there is any CCTV.
From 10 to 12
CCTV?
I saw a cyclist ones taken out every day. And the weekends are even worse when the car moves on. The road is totally blocked. We filmed it, we've got so much evidence, and we just get, like, abuse. It is dangerous. And then people then driving the turn then through Lovington because they can't get out that way and drive at great speeds. Yeah. There's no policing.
Can I ask for any more comments about the traffic lights? Can we actually bundle these comments up now about the traffic lights? I'm going to come back I'm going to come back to the 1, 2, 3 in a minute. Can we just actually get traffic light comments? You'd like to give your comments from you?
Yes, Carol May. I live in Ludington Road, soon to be Luddington Close. And last week, the queue of traffic to come out of the car boot, static, waiting at the red lights. This car, he just came and overtook a line of 6 cars. And anybody coming in would have totally been wiped out. They go at such a speed and nothing has actually been done to monitor it. You've got a sign, but is that an empty threat? Is there actually CCTV there? We don't know.
Thank you for that comment. Can we have another comment please here?
So my question just generally is, why is it taking residents, how many weeks has this been going on? 70 weeks, however it is, to actually bring these things and make them different? How can we trust that anything's going to change when it's taken this point now?
Can we just hold that one, because at the moment we want to get the comments through about the traffic lights to make sure that anger is captured and it goes through. That's what I'm keen to do. Comment there, and 1, 2 here. So that's 4 comments. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just a very quick comment, which is that I'm glad that you're listening to this. It's my biggest concern actually, but to also flag with you that somewhere along here, I sent an email 2 months ago about how concerned I was that it's going to be a life and death situation. Someone's going to be sick because of everything everybody's saying. And I even had a conversation with someone in the Warwickshire team who said that they were going to talk to Montel. So it's lovely that we're going to have another chat with Montel. We had already reassured me 2 months ago that that conversation had happened.
Thank you for that. There was another 2.
Number 2,
So just to be clear, on the traffic management,
Stand up.
the
Speak up.
traffic management provided by contractors, there's only so much we can influence as the county council because it's a safety thing and it's their traffic management they have to manage. So you would have had a conversation with somebody in the team and they would have passed that information to Montel. But we cannot dictate to Montel how to manage the traffic because it's what they do, so that their responsibility.
Well, who is going to dictate it to them if you
No,
are not?
no,
What is the purpose of this meeting
No,
if it's not
the-
going to influence them?
No, we will influence them, but there are safety regulations that the contractor is bound by. They have to maintain certain widths of roads, certain widths of footway. So the fact that somebody assured you they spoke to the contractor, they would have spoken to the contractor, and the contractor is bound to take that on board. But it doesn't mean that it's ignored. So that's just to clarify that for us.
Okay, wait a minute, thank you. I've got three more people who want to speak who've actually put their hands up. So that was one, number two, thank you. No, you were number two, thank you. Remind me, that's the
Right in the centre of it. We can't even get on our drive. For 70 weeks, we have been telling Montel, are there any representatives from Montel here? Right, for 70 weeks, we have been telling Montel, we cannot see any of the traffic lights. You can't see the Evesham Road, you can't see the hill, and you can't see Ludington. And we've been told, just tag on to the end. Well, the problem with tagging on the end, the 10 cars that have gone in front of us have all jumped the red lights. And then we're the ones, when we come through, getting the messages and the abuse. And for 70 weeks we've been saying to them, we cannot see. And for 70 weeks they have done nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Thank you. That's two.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We are number 14 Borden, so we're right next to it. We have had no traffic lights for 18 months. We've got two kids. I've nearly been run over. I've nearly been squashed by a massive lorry, which two of your Montel people witnessed because there was a delivery driver coming in. I reversed and then a big lorry came, so thankfully someone got in the way because I would have been squashing my two kids in the car. I've got two kids who cannot cross the road. Like you just said, we've had traffic. I've had a man stop his car, come out, bang on my windscreen with my kids in the car, saying that I needed to stop because I've gone through a red light, which I haven't. I've just literally pulled out my house. I've had people put their fingers up, tell me to use the swear words, and it's just like, it's getting hell now. And I really don't want to be horrible, but you know, I've had one of my kids nearly squashed. I've been run over by a digger. I've had abuse like you wouldn't believe, like really scary. This big man got out of a car, started hitting my windscreen when, like the lady just said, I just tagged on the back of some cars that went through a red light. And it just seems to me that for ages, it's just, for 18 months, nobody has cared. But what you don't realise, the biggest asset of everyone's life is their mortgage. Their life is their mortgage. We pay massive money for our houses. And if I'm perfectly honest, it's horrendous. It is, and people say, oh, you only live there, and it's shocking. It really is awful when you spend all that money a month on a mortgage on your house, and to get out your house, you are being abused constantly, or being hit by a digger. Sorry, I've had enough of it.
When I tried to tell you... I'm just going to finish off number two. When I turn to go in my property, I'm turning to go in. You've got to put out to allow the cones, and the people are overtaking me on the inside. Then they beep me because I'm indicating to turn into my property. And it's just a matter of time before
You
I
have
get
a
hit.
duty of care, all of you have a duty of care to look after these residents, of whom I am one as well. There is not enough safety in that area, and this lady behind me is absolutely right. There is really a stark danger that somebody could lose their lives or be seriously injured. You need to address this, and you need to address it tomorrow.
Very clearly, and I hope that we're going to get an answer tomorrow. Sorry.
So, as Jenny just said, that is coming through very loud and clearly. I hear your anger, I hear your frustrations. I will give you my apology right now that it's taken this long for that to be heard in the way that it's being heard tonight. I personally will get the directors of Montel in my office to sit down and speak to me and to see if there's anything that we can do. It is a difficult site. It is a lot of traffic that goes through the Evesham Roundabout, and it is a difficult site to manage. But I will ask the question, I will demand an answer as to if there's anything that we can do to manage it better in the last month that we have to be the last 2-3 months that we have on site. So look, we're trying to get it. We want to get off site as quickly as possible, and we will work with Montel's to do that. But my promise to you, and I will put something on the website as the outcome of that, is that we will have a serious sit down with Montel to talk about the traffic management. So we can't stop abusive drivers. I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
Yes,
You can have people on Borden Hill stopping traffic.
I can't stop
to stand in the road and stop people running the red light.
Yeah.
You can employ 2 people to do that.
That's going to be cheaper than having a death on your hands.
Yeah. Understood. And that's exactly the sort of measures that Montel's needs to bring forward. They need to be manually controlling the lights, and they need to put more effort into it.
That's 70 weeks now into the contract. You should have done this 50 weeks ago.
I absolutely hear you, and I agree. Okay? Absolutely. I can't change that now, but I can change the future.
Just finish the traffic lights. Can we actually draw the traffic? I think.
Can I just ask?
So wait. We do need to. There are other people who've got other issues. Can we just have 2 more comments about traffic lights, and then can we move on? So, would you like to make your comment, and would you like to make your comment, and then we'll move on to another issue.
Stand up. When I go through the traffic lights, and it can be 6 times a day, and they're moving, I actually get a green and I go through. Everyone has to slow down because you've been moved sideways onto a piece of road that is so rough. I am frightened about damaging my car. If you sorted that out, once we've got through the traffic lights, we could actually move around the roundabout. Everyone slows down, and everyone who knows about it.
Manuela.
Hi, Jenny. Yeah, so I just want to say how disappointed I am. Because I raised, after residents contacted me, residents that I represent on the Lavington Road, they contacted me about the problems with the traffic lights. And I wrote to Warwickshire County Council, I wrote to the racecourse, I wrote to Blorhomes, I wrote to Montel. And the safety issues, the huge delays, the fact that children couldn't even go to their Saturday football club because they were blocked, they've all been dismissed. So I am disappointed that it's taken, this meeting so late in the day to do something about it.
Exactly.
Thank you for that.
The planning process for us, we don't actually get involved in that. We come on board after that decision is made, the planning decision. So we are basically implementing what has been agreed, what's gone through a process of planning, and we are basically implementing that scheme. That's been approved by the planning authority, Stratford District Council.
Thank you. Question number 2.
Yes, it's a question to the engineers on the end. I'm a scientist, not an engineer, but I have a basic understanding of volumetric flow rate and Bernoulli's principle. Now, I've gone and looked at that in pumps. It appears you have not factored in potential gravitational effect, and it appears you've not factored in any change in velocity. So the question would be, to bring all of you on the council in, we've had 2009 mentioned, and I think ground was broken late 2021. So when was your modelling of flow rate done? If you don't factor any change in the quantity, which has increased as a result of the number of houses for which planning has been given and have been constructed, have you been assuming a constant quantity, and have you been assuming a constant velocity? And most importantly, looking at how the pumps are functioning, have you failed to factor an elevational change?
On one of the first slides, there's the planning reference number. I advise everyone to make a note of that one. Can you bring that up, Sarah? So if everyone makes a note of that number, everyone, I assume has got internet access.
09/02196 out.
So everybody here in this republic can go onto that website and look at the actual planning application that was made, and it includes a lot of the documents that were submitted. One of those documents was a flood risk assessment.
As a resident of London Road for 75 years, I was born there and lived there all my life. If you have a look where the new road joins the old London Road by the racecourse, there used to be a drop curb that I could get down on my mobility scooter. Now, my scooter is out there for any one of you now to try and get up that curb without getting chipped out. I can't get up there. So what you're going to do, wait for the road to be tarmac, come and dig it up and then put a drop curb in for me, or you're not going to bother at all. I have to come out onto the Ludington Road, halfway up the road, to get down to cross the road by the racecourse. Second thing, you're on about the floodplain. You had photos of the racecourse being flooded years ago when all this part was underwater by 4 foot. So you know what the water's like down there. You've taken no notice. You've not consulted any resident, have you? Also, hang on. You're on about what services you didn't know about. You spent bloody weeks going up there with a cat can, marking gas, water and electric. You haven't got to be a brain surgeon to work out what's there.
Okay, we've got 3 of us in the audience, and Councillor Curtis, who's coming, will be progressing and pushing your views to make sure they do happen. But you can't do something immediately because you have to get the workmen on site. You know, there are
the builders to get on with this. I don't want to put it in the programme, it's just writing it on a bit of paper, it doesn't say it's going to be this day, that day.
This meeting is to make sure that the people who've got the power to make this happen are aware of your anger, which is palpable. Okay, can we actually go on to, we can't keep talking about something that won't happen now. Can we get the next issue?
Okay, it was me, I think. But my question to David Moore was exactly what we've been talking about the vision and the safety around the racecourse entrance there. At the moment, it's a danger spot, as well as the pedestrian access across the road. That tree and that vegetation needs to go, and it needs to go before the road is completely surfaced. Otherwise, that's creating more work.
I would agree with you, and as chair, I shouldn't be saying.
But I've emailed David twice about this.
Can I just ask, is there any opposition to that tree to be felled?
No, we want to keep our kids in one piece.
Well, no, it's useful to know because people are passionate about saving trees.
Saving people.
Yeah, and trees. People and trees.
Hopefully we can move this one forward now. So it's 1, 2, we have 6 here, 3.
Okay, so as you go up Ludington Close, which will be there, you put in a series of drop curbs by the houses along there. One of the last drop curbs, the angle on the road is quite drastic and can cause you to twist your ankle, which my father did do in the night when walking the dog. Are you going to leave those drop curves and those angles in at the top end of Ludington Close?
What specific question? I need to know exactly.
Ludington Road should be Ludington Close. Thank you everybody here that's come tonight, particularly the gentleman with the transatlantic accent. He's the first person I hear to apologise at all ever on this project. Question will come in a minute. David Moore, I've been in contact for the past 6 years. We've had a good rapport. I'm afraid, David, it's come to an end. This is the first time I'm hearing that you are project managing this actual project. Now, we've got a long list here of Indians coming up to the chiefs. HS2 has just had a complete investigation into the project manage of SHS2. Jenny, my request, in fact, I think the whole of this congregation here will agree with me that we want an investigation on these two here for the whole project. Mismanagement.
Mismanaged.
I have been in project. Just to curtail that, I've been in project management for most of my life. I've never seen anything like this. I would like the council, the councillors from the county, to question the project management that is reporting back to David. And David, you should have told me about these before, because I would have been at their throats.
So that really is responsibility for the councillors to actually ensure that's those questions will be coming.
An investigation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we all want this roundabout to be completed as ASAP, and we've been given a date, a provisional date, presumably. And I just want to understand the accountability of Montel, because you mentioned you're going to see the directors. I mean, the key question I want to know is really, why are they not working longer hours? Why are they not being pushed? Is it your responsibility to push them? I don't know who is managing that, and if it could be accelerated.
So let me explain the relationship with that. So Warwickshire is a little bit unique in that we push our developers quite hard. And a lot of authorities, the developers use their own contractors to deliver things on site, and the local authority then goes and inspects and has to agree that the work has been done correctly. We go a step beyond that. We actually require the developers to use contractors off our framework, so contractors that we have tendered, so that we know that they're good quality contractors and deliver quality. And then we actually manage those contractors on site. We give the developers the opportunity to employ their own project managers as well, because the developers often say, look, I'm giving you a blank check, because the developer pays for all of this. So all the inspections, all the project management that happens is paid for by the developers. But that's the bar we hold the developers to. It's a very high bar in Warwickshire. That's not saying that we don't always get it right. And I'm very happy to take the challenge back about the project management of this particular scheme. This is, as I said before, this is never going to be an easy scheme to do because of the levels of traffic, the location, and because of the buildability of the scheme and the location of the land available and all the rest of it. It was always going to be a difficult scheme to deliver. We've got other ones waiting, like Clockton Bridge, which are also going to be very difficult to deliver and are going to cause problems. So, but very happy to take away the challenge to that project management. The reason their construction sites will vary. At times you'll have lots of people on site doing lots of activity. You then hit certain periods where you've got bits in the program that have to be done before other things can be done, and it doesn't make sense to have lots of guys stood around on the site, so they do stand
Four of them are looking, watching the hole. Six people. Only one of those workers. And I live right beside, I see them every day. It's like a merry Thursday night most days.
David and his team are very much we want to get off, as I said before, we want to get off the site as quickly as possible, and so his team is pushing Montel's to do that work as quickly as we can. And it is literally the things that are in the program that can't be done in sequence that are causing us to not be able to do it quicker.
There's over a 20-week extension of time on this contract from Hell. Who is paying for the 20-week extension of time? Are the taxpayers paying?
Yeah.
Is the contractor paying?
It's the developers.
Sorry?
It's the developers. The whole scheme is
the developers.
Financed by
The developers paying for the extended time?
Okay, it's been horrendous for our family. So you don't understand how it is to drive from school with the two children who want a toilet, because we stand in 45 minutes sometimes in this Evesham Road from the Shell garage. It's 45 minutes, so I know what you're saying. You've been
this road. Believe me, it's 45 minutes taking me sometimes to come from school. My son has anxiety in the morning when he's thinking about going to school. My 9-year-old son suffered now with anxiety about thinking about going to school in the morning. That's how bad it is. And he's 9, just 9, and he's asking me, Mummy, why there's nobody on this roundabout doing anything? People are constantly on their mobile phones. That's the view of my son, who is 9 years old. So please believe us, there's not a lot of work happening there. I watch that every day for 6-7 times a day. Now, obviously we've got a delay, and you're gonna affect my 3rd school year. 3rd school year, this is how ridiculous it is. 3rd school year of my children's education. And also, you're gonna block now my exit and my right to get to Evesham Road, because I'll have to go all the way in September. It's a brilliant timing when another school year starts, brilliant timing. So please, could you give me reassurance, and to all the people in this room, that this project will not continue into 2024? And also, what kind of insurance you're gonna give me and all those people here that are gonna put all the resources necessary to finish this project ASAP?
Well done.
The truth is, I can't guarantee a date. So I'm
Can we
telling you
have
the
another
truth.
meeting?
No, forgive me if I'm getting a bit fractious here on the way back, but I'm telling you the truth. We are working with the contractor to get off site as quickly as we possibly can. I don't have a crystal ball on this. We are trying to get off by the end of September. That's what we're working to.
When are you going to be closing the road to resurface it, Luddington Road? Because we don't know anything about that. We've already imposed.
Yeah, September.
What we can't give you at this point in time is actually definite dates. Because it is a moving target. It is a moving target. That's the reality.
We can have a date.
We don't actually.
They built our housing estate.
Can I just actually, like, we're coming towards the end, and a lot of things are being re-said. They're being heard. I hope, as Chair, I shall actually hopefully make sure they're being heard at the end of this. But now we're actually getting on to question number 7.
We haven't had 6 yet.
We did? Oh, sorry, 6.
No, I'll go for 6.
You were 6, yes, that's right. So it's question number 7. The penultimate question.
Can I ask you all to bear with me? I live at number 1 Luddington Road. This started for me at 7 o'clock on the first day that men came onto site. I'd like to know from the people on the chairs how often they've been on site.
Yeah.
Never. I also go back to 12 years ago, 10 years ago, when the planning applications were put up. When the first planning application applied to pull down numbers 3 and 4 Evesham Road at the roundabout. That planning application was in existence for a while before I happened to go to a meeting at the town hall and asked the then chairman where the houses were. He said, oh, they're on Borden Hill. The councillors, the people that were giving planning permission, I think they varied it all the way through, because Jenny, I do believe you told me that no houses would be built until the road was completed.
That's what we were told.
And is that true?
Yeah.
So who made the decision to build the houses, which has caused a lot of the problems on the site because of the building of those houses and the runoff? I would like to ask the people here, how often have they been, would they like to stand and let us know how often they've been on site and what they know about it?
Yes, I come up weekly, so I'm familiar with the issues. I think your question about house completions relates to when the houses can be sold and occupied rather than when they're constructed. And the developers need the road finished so that access can be given to their houses.
So why were they given permission to build the houses? Why weren't the road being pushed through beforehand by all of you? But that is another point I'm making. There are lots of points I can make. I can understand why Montel aren't here tonight. Not because we blame them, but they are the people who are giving us the stones to throw to blame Montel. The workers out there are trying to do a job. It's the people here that have put delays in with redesigns, realignments. Again, it goes right back to about the third week on site, when Montel were digging them down and they were banging the road down to get it ready to build. And I said, oh, you're going to get the road. Well, we're doing it, but the county council have got to make a decision yet. The county council came back and said, we want it 4 foot deeper than that. So they then had to dig it all up and move it around and start again. That has gone on ever since.
18 months.
I've sat in my gate, I've looked out, I've seen earth move from A to B to C, back to A, etc., etc. I've been abused by cyclists that have come through the traffic lights on the roundabout. They jump up onto the curb and drive round. Milan and I actually stood on the footpath one day and stopped them, didn't we? Yes. Tried to. Well, we tried to. They all basically gave us abuse except for one who stopped and agreed with us. One of them actually rode by, and as he rode by, he said, I took you to hospital last week. I said, I wish you would, but I won't repeat what I said. I've also been for counselling today, because the last straw for me was I didn't get an invite to this evening's meeting. Even though I annoyed my neighbour Paul, we had to have, Milan got his and he told us that, I don't know why, perhaps it's because I'm in there, nobody cares. But because I've had suicidal thoughts, I've had to go to counselling today. And I've been told by the counsellor that I should stand up and tell you all. And the people I hold for my suicidal thoughts are sitting down there. Now, I hope you don't sleep tonight, because I know I won't.
This is what you don't realise, the effect you're having on people's mental health.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts. They're very, very powerful. And I think it's quite, I wish that was the last one, but I did say number 8. So can number 8 give their question?
I too have been in touch with David Moore because my wife would like to use her mobility scooter to get into Stratford. I have to go with her at the moment. So first of all, a long-term question, why wasn't the safety survey for the road crossing done probably 10 years ago instead of tomorrow? And you can't answer that now because you haven't got the foggiest idea, have you? And the second point is, what is the purpose of the dropped curbs in the new bit of Luddington Road? Who will actually need to cross at that point? Because of course nobody from Luddington can get there, because we've already talked about the tree. Removing the trees is one point, but we need a pavement to get to that, presumably. I mean, who is going to use that potential crossing point on the new bit of Luddington Road? Where are they going to come from? I expected to have silence. Somebody, we need to see the leader of the county councillor next time. And I'm sorry, David, but you have failed.
Yes.
As chair of this meeting, and I was actually dropped in at 30 hours. Thank you for being here. I'm very happy to have chaired the meeting. I'm very disturbed about the information that's coming forward, and the game has got to be upped, and we've got to get this island finished as soon as possibly can, and I think every councillor here is going to be pushing to get it finished as soon as possible. I hope all the questions have been logged. Those questions will actually, the answers, the information will go onto the website. And we're coming up towards the end. One gentleman here.
Number 8 actually.
Oh, sorry, number 8. Go on, do put your question.
Number 9. No, I'm just going to say, and this is directed to the front bench really. I've been at a lot of business meetings over the years, a lot of Q&As, and everybody sits there and says, yes, look, Yes, it'll be done, you'll get to, nothing ever happens invariably. What I'm going to suggest is something this lady said here, is that we reconvene. I know, Jenny, you're going to put stuff on the web, and that's fine, but let's get people back in here, and particularly, the gentleman there said, Montel. And good luck getting him in your office tomorrow, as you said, yeah?
May I suggest
No, he said he's in his office tomorrow.
We
So
target-
could we have another meeting?
May I suggest we target a meeting and actually arrange it for the first week in October, which gives a chance for the September date?
Well, no, completion is in September. Now, why have it in October?
So we already know what's
Chris.
going to happen in September.
In your notes to actually suggest the best time.
End of August. End of
Well,
August.
Tony's too many people on holiday now. You want to get it in September, I think, myself. Sorry.
Can I just point out, various people have pointed out safety issues and also disrespect issues from the point of view of the workers throwing rubbish all over the place. I think it's going to be too late, leaving it till September. I think we need to do something in just a few weeks' time in order to see that priority has been given to the things that have been said here tonight.
Beginning of September, so that is
4 weeks.
3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, so, yeah, 4 weeks time.
Can we receive communications, because I didn't know about it.
Excused by Montel.
Yeah.
So why aren't they here?
Shocking.
So they were invited, the invite to them actually went out to the managing director.
The truth is, I can't guarantee a date, so I'm
Can
telling
we
you
have
the truth.
another meeting?
No, forgive me if I'm getting a bit fractious here on the way back, but I'm telling you the truth. We are working with the contractor to get off site as quickly as we possibly can. I don't have a crystal ball on this. We are trying to get off by the end of September. That's what we're working to.
When are you going to be closing the road to resurface it, Ludington Road? Because we don't know anything about that. We've already imposed.
Yeah, September.
What we can't give you at this point in time is actually definite dates. Because it is a moving target. It is a moving target. That's the reality.
We can have a date, but we don't actually.
They built a whole housing estate.
Can I just
gas,
actually,
electric, water,
like, we're coming
houses.
towards the end, and a lot of things are being resaid. They're being heard, I hope, as Chair, I shall actually hopefully make sure they're being heard at the end of this. But now we're actually getting on to question number 7.
We haven't had 6 yet.
We did? Oh, sorry, 6.
No, that was 6.
You were 6, yes, that's right, so it's question number 7. The penultimate question.
Can I ask you all to bear with me? I live at number 1 Ludington Road. This started for me at 7 o'clock on the first day that men came onto site. I'd like to know from the people on the chairs how often they've been on site. I also go back to 12 years ago, 10 years ago, when the planning applications were put up. When the first planning application applied to pull down numbers 3 and 4 Evesham Road at the roundabout. That planning application was in existence for a while before I happened to go to a meeting at the town hall and asked the then chairman where the houses were. He said, oh, they're on Borden Hill. The councillors, people that are giving planning permission, I think they varied it all the way through, because Jenny, I do believe you told me that no houses would be built until the road was completed.
That's what we were told.
And is that true? So who made the decision to build the houses, which has caused a lot of the problems on the site because of the building of those houses and the runoff? I would like to ask the people here, how often have they been, would they like to stand and let us know how often they've been on site and what they know about it?
Yes, I come up weekly, so I'm familiar with the issues. I think your question about house completions relates to when the houses can be sold and occupied rather than when they're constructed. And the developers need the road finished so that access can be given to their houses.
So why were they given permission to build the houses? Why weren't the
road being pushed through beforehand by all of you, but that is another point I'm making. There are lots of points I can make. I can understand why Montel aren't here tonight. Not because we blame them, but they are the people who are giving us the stones to throw to blame Montel. The workers out there are trying to do a job. It's the people here that have put delays in with redesigns, realignments. Again, it goes right back to about the third week on site, when Montel were digging it down and they were banging the road down to get it ready to build. And I said, oh, you're going to get the road. Well, we're doing it, but the county council have got to make a decision yet. The county council came back and said, we want it 4 foot deeper than that. So they then had to dig it all up and move it around and start again. That has gone on ever since.
18 months.
I've sat in my gate, I've looked out, I've seen earth move from A to B to C, back to A, etc., etc. I've been abused by cyclists that have come through the traffic lights on the roundabout. They jump up onto the curb and drive round. Milan and I actually stood on the footpath one day and stopped them, didn't we? Yes. Tried to. Well, we tried to. They all basically gave us abuse except for one who stopped and agreed with us. One of them actually rode by, and as he rode by, he said, I took you to hospital last week. I said, I wish you would, but I won't repeat what I said. I've also been for counselling today, because the last straw for me was I didn't get an invite to this evening's meeting. Even though I annoyed my neighbour Paul, we had to have, Milan got his, and he told me that I don't know why, perhaps it's because I'm in there, nobody cares. But because I've had suicidal thoughts, I've had to go to counselling today. And I've been told by the counsellor that I should stand up and tell you all. And the people I hold for my suicidal thoughts are sitting down there. Now, I hope you don't sleep tonight, because I know I won't.
This is what you don't realise, the effect you're having on people's mental health.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts. They're very, very powerful.